The Giants made the biggest change of the year by demoting Daniel Jones and making Tommy DeVito the starting quarterback. But in that press conference where Brian Daboll announced the move, he also hinted that more moves and more changes could be coming for this organization and football team when it comes to the roster. First, though, I want to hear from you. What is the number one change you would make for the Giants right now if you were Brian Daboll? Let me know in the comments section. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate you guys stopping by. On today's video, we're going to react to when Brian Daboll said there will be different guys mixing in and out now with a new quarterback. And I'm going to go through 4 changes that I think the Giants might make. First, though, this is the full quote from Dave saying, personnel groups offensively or defensively, a lot less than this when talking about the change of Daniel Jones, where you just see the quarterback situation. But there will be different guys mixing in and out, and we'll take a look at some of these guys that have done a nice job since they've been here. Maybe they haven't had as many reps, or we implement them into some personnel groups. That's what we'll do here over the next couple of days when we get ready for Tampa, is to decide where these guys fit. And I honestly love this mindset and this approach from Brian Daboll. You're 2-8. You're not making the postseason. You just made your QB3, who was cut from the 53-man roster, your starting quarterback. It is time to prioritize the future. It is time to prioritize development of players on this roster over trying to fish for empty wins. The process is always more important than the results. And the process for the New York Giants should be, let's give these young guys that we have invested draft picks in, or priority UDFAs, or just young guys in general, let's prioritize their development over trying to squeeze out some juice from some of these veterans who maybe be playing the last games of their time as New York Giants. The number one change that I want to see make, which I think is actually going to happen to some degree, I don't think Slayton will be entirely removed from the equation, is Hyatt in and Slayton out. So far this year, Darius Slayton, even though he has missed a game this year, has almost tripled the snap count of Hyatt. Just 224 snaps for Hyatt through 10 games, whereas Darius Slayton has played 537 snaps through 9 games. We did not see Darius Slayton play against the Carolina Panthers in Germany. He was still working back from a concussion. He was in concussion protocol. And Jalin Hyatt got the start. And Jalin Hyatt, I thought, looked all right. 4 catches for 39 yards. Not going to blow you away by any means, but for a guy that I don't think had a single catch, maybe one catch prior to the game, it was good to see. Ran a couple of stop routes, on-time, on-target throws from Daniel Jones. And on the first drive of the game, he threw a deep ball to Jalin Hyatt where Hyatt got behind the defense, and it resulted in a 45-yard pass interference penalty. So just because the reception and the receiving yards don't show up on the stats, it doesn't mean that that was not an explosive play for Jalin Hyatt. What's the difference if he catches it and goes out of bounds or he gets the penalty there? It was a gain of 45 yards for the Giants, and it was because Jalin Hyatt had game-breaking speed. And Brian Daboll took note of the way that the young wide receiver played, saying he had a good game. I thought that he had one of his better games for us. I was happy to see some of the production that he had. He's got the right mindset. He's, again, another guy that's waiting for his opportunity. His opportunity came, and he made some plays for us. So it was good to see. Remember what Daboll said earlier? We're going to give some guys some chances that haven't got their opportunities. What did he just say about Jalin Hyatt? He hasn't got his opportunities. I could be looking into this too much, but I think Brian Daboll is going to give Jalin Hyatt more snaps the remainder of the season. And look, do I believe Hyatt's a wide receiver 1 now or in the future? No. Do I think he could be a pivotal piece to an explosive offense? Yes. Do I think he can make game-changing plays for an offense? Yes. I still believe in Jalin Hyatt. He was selected in the 3rd round for a reason. There was a reason he was mocked in round 1 and he fell all the way to round 3, because there still needed to be major development in his game. He's in year 2. He'll be in year 3 now, and I want to see him with a new quarterback. He's not afraid to throw the ball down the field. Use a guy like Hyatt. Oh, I believe in him. I think there's a player in there. I don't know what that player can be. I think it could be a guy that contributes in an explosive fashion, and I want to see him do it with the Giants hopefully the rest of the year. F it. Cutlets. Hyatt. He's down there somewhere. I saw this written by a New York Giants blogger. I think it was Giants Wire. I don't remember. I apologize if you're watching this video. It gets to you I should have remembered where this came from. They wrote, though, maybe less Greg Van Roten or someone else on the offensive line and more Jake Kubis, the UDFA interior offensive lineman. And the reason that this makes some sense is Greg Van Roten, a veteran on a one-year deal, probably going to be off this team next year unless he wants to come back on another cheap one-year deal. He contemplated retirement even before coming and joining the Giants this year. And I honestly thought he's been good. He's allowed just 2 sacks. At times, he's been the best run blocker for the New York Giants, and I thought he's held up well in pass protection. Hasn't missed a game, and through 10 games, signing an offensive lineman a couple of weeks before the season starts, I think Greg Van Roten has delivered more than anticipated. But like we talked about earlier, process. It's about development and evaluation at this point over trying to squeak out a win against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Kubis is a guy the Giants clearly like. 2024 UDFA. He made the 53-man roster. He's been active for a lot of games this year. Maybe you look for him to get some spot snaps, I don't think he should start, but maybe there's a couple of plays, a couple of drives, a couple of series, maybe a quarter or two. You throw him in at right guard and see what he's got. I wouldn't be upset at all if you continue to roll with Greg Van Roten. He's the best guy at that position, and he's proven to be one of the better Giants offensive linemen this year. But a young guy in Kubis who the staff likes, maybe they look to put him in for some of the ball games coming up. We'll talk more. 2 more positional changes and roster changes I expect to see and could see. But first, I got to give a major shout out to today's sponsor, our proud sportsbook partner, DraftKings. Use the promo code NixChat, and when you make your first bet of $5, they'll give you $200 in instant bonus bets. The Emirates NBA Cup is here. You can win big getting in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All 30 teams split into 6 groups every Tuesday and Friday playing for the right to advance in the single elimination in-season tourney, culminating in the NBA Cup Championship in Vegas. First time, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code NixChat. That's code NixChat for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/BBALL.
Shout out to DraftKings, our proud sportsbook partner here. Smitty Slate going on the road for Week 12, and you guys might hate me, but I got Bucks -5 at the G-Men. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Tommy Cutlass surprises everybody, but I got the Bucks taking this one by a good margin. Patriots +7 at Miami. Feels like too big of a spread, too wide of a margin for a divisional matchup. I like the pass and Drake May getting hot as the season goes on. And then the Chiefs feels like a get-right spot for them and a letdown spot for the Carolina Panthers. Give me -10.5 on the road in Carolina. I took all these odds at the spreads on screen, and they were all -110 odds. Those are all subject to change on DraftKings. Use our promo code NixChat. Get $200 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet.
Support the show. Support the sponsor. Be a real one. All righty. Another change that I could see coming for the Giants is, and there's a theme here, less reps for free agents that are veterans, more reps for developmental players. Maybe we see a little less of my guy, Raheem Nunez-Roches. Shout out to Nacho. He's been solid for the Giants over the last 2 years. I wouldn't bring him back. I'd look for bigger and better. But maybe you give his reps to some of the younger guys on this team, like a DJ Davidson or a Jordan Riley, or maybe you see a guy like Armand Watts out there. I don't remember what game it was this year, a couple weeks ago. They all have become the same game to me because the Giants just continue to lose games by 1 score. But Armand Watts has made a couple of plays in a game this year, and I liked what I saw from him. He was solid for the Steelers last year. Maybe he's something that you try to give a chance at that position, and you look to bring him back next year. But I want to see more Riley and more Davidson and a little less Nacho. Look, we know that the Giants do not have the answer to the DT2 position most likely on this roster. I know for sure it's not going to be Nacho. Maybe it is, though, Riley or Davidson. Give him a chance. Let him continue to play this year. Your run defense already stinks. It can't get much worse. At the running back position, I think we could also see a little bit of this. maybe a little less Singletary, maybe a little bit more Eric Gray, and dare I say maybe a little Dante Turbo Miller off the practice squad. We haven't talked about Turbo Miller in a while. Look, Singletary's been fine this year. I honestly thought he was really good in the first couple of games of the season before he had that groin injury. It's been a natural handoff to Tyrone Tracy. Giants have found a running back for the fraction of the price for the sellout that went to the other team in this division. Singletary's a veteran. The Giants know what he is. No need to run him into the dirt this year. You probably want him back next year to be a duo with a guy like him and Tyrone Tracy. So maybe you look at a guy like Eric Gray, who was a 5th-round pick for you in that 2023 NFL draft. He's had some explosive plays this year. That was actually in the preseason. But no, he had a nice couple of catch and runs. He's had some tough runs as well. But look, can you get anything out of him? Can you see if there's anything at that position that can carry over into next year? Or do you just move on from him after this year? I wouldn't mind scaling Singletary back and having Gray play a little bit more, and I'm down to get weird and bring Dante Turbo Miller up and just let him turn on the Jets. What is your number one change you would make for the Giants right now? For me, it would be Jalin Hyatt. I don't need to see Slayton play anymore. I know what he is. I know he's going to drop critical passes. I know he's going to get behind the defense every once in a while. Let Jalin Hyatt have that role. Let's see if he could be anything going into year 3. And maybe you can have an explosive Jalin Hyatt and explosive Malik Neighbors and a decent slot receiver in Wan'Dale Robinson, a decent receiving crew for maybe a rookie quarterback like Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. Your number one change you should make right now. One thing you should change, though, is make sure you are following me on social media. If you're not, I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there, and let's go Big Blue.